Hello friends, this is Julie with Craft with Julie, and today I want to share with you something that I've created. I have come up with a pattern that creates 3 cards from one 6x6 pattern. So it creates these 3 cards. I thought of doing this because I had this set of 6x6. These are the in colors. So many fun pieces, and I hadn't used them yet. And so I thought, what better than to create a 6x6 cutting guide, and there's different patterns on the back. Oop, there we go. You see all those, they all fell. So I think you get like 48, well, I don't know. I can't remember. I want to say it's quite a bit. Like you get 4 of each color and design, and then you have the back too. So I went ahead and found some patterns that I liked in a Close My Heart Idea book and then combined them to make one cutting guide. You'll be able to download that guide for free on my website, and I will put a link in the description of the video right at the top so you can find that to download the PDF. So I'm going to just walk you through how to create these cards and show you some fun things that I have come up with. The stamp set and die cut I'm using today is I have them all on blocks already. hold on. Is the Cheerful Daisies, and then I also have the die cuts for the Cheerful Daisies, and that is what I am using. And I decided to use this Petunia Pop color because I actually have the stamp pad for it. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first what we need to do is cut our pattern paper, and this pattern has a stripe side and then the floral, and so I really need to be aware of how I am cutting my paper, just because of the different patterns. So I have, let's see, let me think about. Okay, so the first cut is 1/2 of an inch. Trying to remember which one this goes on. Hold on. I don't think it matters on this one. Okay, so it's 1/2 an inch and 4.5. Okay, and that is for card number 2. And then we have, this should be 5.5. So we're going to cut it at 2.5. This is the one where I need to be more aware because it's this card right here. So that's 6. Okay, so I'm going to cut this side at 1.5 again, or sorry, at 1/2 inch, and then 4.5. So that is card number 2. And we're going to be using this side of those, so we don't need to worry about the edges. And honestly, if you don't have a stripe pattern, you don't even have to worry about the orientation of your paper. Okay, so this one is 5.5, and I'm going to cut this at 2.5. And this is for card 1. And then 1 by 5.5. This is also for card 1. And then this should be 2 by 2. And we'll want to cut this diagonally. And I need to decide which way I want my stripes to go. Okay, so I'm going to cut it at a diagonal, just like that. And that is for card number 2. Oh, my one card flew away. There we go. And then you have this piece left over. It should be 3.5 by 2 inches, and that is for card 3. Okay, so let's go ahead and start creating some of these cards. So you have your basic design, and then you can just add what you want to it. And so I chose the Cheerful Daisy collection because I thought there's so many fun like icons and things in that. And so really you can use this pattern with any stamp set, Cricut cuts, anything like that. Okay, so number one is this one. Let me move these. Okay, here is number one. So we cut these, and I'm going to the floral and then the stripe. So that is your main, let me move it up a little bit. That is your main design. And then you can go anywhere from that. So I cut a couple things to go along with this one. So I have some Mulberry glitter paper from Close to My Heart that totally matches this Petunia Pop. And then the Daisies has this really fun cluster of florals. Let me scooch this way. Okay. And then you can layer them on top. So I thought I could just use that as my main focus. So let's go ahead and add these to our card. Okay, so I'm just going to attach these to my card base, and then we can start building the other elements on it. And really you can use this with any pattern. You can cut down your 12 by 12 to do a 6 by 6. I just have noticed that Stampin' Up! Has a lot of fun 6 by 6 patterns. And so I wanted to create something that I could easily make a couple cards with and then share it with you guys. So we are going to stamp a couple things. So on this stamp set, there are, let me find, there's a little center that you can stamp. There we go. I'm getting used to the Stampin' Up! Stamps, so bear with me. So there's a couple stamps that you can use to color in the center, so I'm going to use those. And I'm using Honey Butter from Close to My Heart, but I've also paired it with, or I've listed the Stampin' Up! Equivalent in the supply list. Okay, so I'm going to stamp that one. And then we have this little circle one. I'm just going to stamp it right over the center. And then there is this one right here. And I'm using the same small one. And sometimes it's hard with a little glare on those cameras. There we go. So then we have our yellow. And then now we can attach these little layer pieces. And I will be honest, these guys give me a little bit of trouble trying to figure out exactly what direction they go in. But once you figure out the trick to it, I try to find like the 3 short ones right here. And then this one is very similar where it has like kind of 3 short ones on the bottom. And then I lay them on there and then I put the glue on just so I know I have them in the right spot. And I'm going to go ahead and use some liquid glue and attach these. So I try not to move them too much so I can remember where they go. Maybe it's just me that has issues with figuring it out. Okay, so there we go. There's a lot of different options in the die cuts that you can layer different ways, and so really there's even, you could just do the solid ones and layer them on top of each other. I thought these were really cool with the they almost have like they have little lines in them already, so it adds dimension. There we go. Okay, so now we have our main focus, and then we can use our stamp to stamp You Made My Day, and I'm going to use the Petunia Pop, and I'm still learning how to use these ink pads, so bear with me. That was pretty painless. So, and then you just lightly ink that up, and we're going to stick it or stamp it right here on this paper. Oh, that looks good. Okay, so you could just leave the daisy just like that and make like a note card, but I thought it'd be fun to add a little bit of a sentiment. And I'm going to grab some dimensionals to pop that up. We'll just do 2 on here. And there we go. Okay, and then we'll just use some liquid glue to attach this as well. And it's pretty easy. Once you have your pieces all cut out, these come together really quickly. I just want to mention that there is going to be a special in July featuring a 6x6 paper collection, and it's like an all-season collection, so it's so good. So I'm so excited to share that with you guys. Just a heads up. So download the workshop guide or the cutting guide now and be ready. I need a little more glue on that. Be ready to use it in July with this super cute paper 6x6 paper collection that Stampin' Up! Is giving to us. Okay, so that's card number 1. Card number 2 is this one right here. And really there's not many pieces to these cards, so that's why they're kind of a blank slate to go any direction you really want to go in, honestly. So these go on the corners, and then these 2 go across like that. Okay, so easy. And then I did cut a couple strips of that glitter paper just to kind of jazz it up a little bit. So let's go ahead and add these. It's right there on the corners. I think I might have to fold this so I can see exactly where those edges are. Okay, and then this bottom one. And this card could go either way. You could do it this way, you could do it that way. Lots of different options. Now I'm just going to add a little strip of glue across to add this one. And of course I went off the edge. There we go. Clean up our glue a little bit. And also across here. There we go. That's a little bit better. And then we can cut those edges, but first I want to add this glitter paper. Again, this is the Mulberry from Close to My Heart. My friend Lori showed me how amazing it matched this Petunia Pop, and I'm glad she did because I've been using it a lot. And then we can trim those. And just right up on, or when I flip it over, I can just go right along the line, and it makes it super easy. Okay, scooch those out of the way. So again, you can go either direction with this one. I felt like this center was a lot of white space, so I am bringing in a blending tool and then Petunia Pop, and I'm just going to lightly add some color kind of down the line to bring out those flowers and also the sentiment. I'm kind of weary because I'm learning how these ink pens work, so I'm being very careful so I don't get too excited with the ink. Okay, so I've added some color, and then we can go ahead and grab our flowers that I've already cut out. So we have this big one and a small one, and then this one right here. They're very similar to the ones I just cut out. So look, they're very, very similar. So this overlay actually fits on this one as well. So there are other options. And it was so fun just to sit down and cut everything out and stamp everything to see how they all work together. So I highly recommend that when you get a new die cut set, is just to cut everything out and see how it all layers together and stuff like that. So that's what I did. So here is our large flower, and I just need to figure out the way that it goes. Okay, I think it goes this way, and I'm using black. I still have my Close to My Heart colors, so I'm going to use them till they die, and then I will get the new ones. Okay, line that up. So cute. I love, love, love daisies. So this was a must-have for me. I will put the list of supplies that I use to create these cards in the description as well, just in case you need this set too. And there's one more. This one right here. So I'm just going to take this one off and grab this one. Again, there is a link down below that will take you right to my Stampin' Up! Website, where you can download this PDF of the cutting guide. So you can have that. It also has picture to show you kind of how I put the cards together, and then you can just use that on with whatever you have. Okay, so we're going to use honey butter again and stamp these little yellow spots. And I think the Stampin' Up! Equivalent, I believe I put, is Daffodil Delight. So if you have Daffodil Delight, go ahead and use that. And stamp that in the center. All right. Oh, one more thing we need to stamp. And I'm using Close to My Heart Sage, but you can also use Stampin' Up! Soft Seafoam ink. So if you have the soft seafoam, it'll be very similar. And I want to make sure that's inked up. Stamp that on there. And there we go. Okay, so now we can add our elements. And I'm going to use some more dimensionals to pop up this flower. I'll start with the large one and then work around to add the others. And I'll just stick that one right there. And then we have this half one, the half daisy. And I'll put that one kind of up there. And then we have this last smaller daisy. I'll stick it right there. Okay, and then I'm going to add these leaves. And just add a little something right there. Okay, and you could totally leave it like that if you want, but I thought adding a sentiment right there would be nice. So I have this, your friendship means everything. And again, I'm just going to bring out the black and stamp it right there towards the left-hand side. Kind of on that splotch of Petunia Pop. Okay, and there we go. That's card number 2. So you can see that you can go simple or you can add a lot more to it. It's totally up to you. Okay, so the last one is just this guy right here. So there's a lot of things you can do with this. You can, it's very, very simple. So you could add more pattern paper to that. You could actually do like a border of the Petunia Pop. But I kept it simple just to show you how you can use it just on its own. Really, this guide is just a jumping start for your creativity. You can just go crazy. I'm going to put it on here about a 1/2 inch from both sides and the bottom. And then I cut a couple more things. Okay, this is one of the thin cuts in that daisy. Look how pretty that is. And I can think of all kinds of things to use. I can use it at Christmas time. To me, it looks like coral that you could use for like an ocean scene. So there's a lot of different ways I can use that. So I'm excited to have that. And so we're going to stamp a couple things. We have our leaf. So let's bring that sage back in. Or the sea foam. Yes, soft sea foam. I will I will learn these colors, I promise. It's like going back to school. I've got to learn the next grade up. Okay. And then there is this cute little cluster of flowers, and I'm going to stamp that in Petunia Pop. Let me line this up first. Make sure I have it the right direction. That looks good. I have noticed I don't need to push as hard on Stampin' Up! Ink pads. They're very juicy. There we go. And then wishing you the brightest birthday is another one of those sentiments on, oh, I need a longer, it'll fit on this one, is another one of the sentiments on the stamp set. Wishing you the brightest birthday. And I don't have a ton of Stampin' Up! Colors yet, but in the paper pumpkin, this Pebbled Path came with, and look how cute this little adorable little spot is. So I am going to go ahead and use it until I get my supply of bigger ink pads. I love that with the paper pumpkin, that it comes with different colors, and so you can get a little taste of what the color is and the ink is like, and then you can collect the bigger ones as you go. Okay, so that was Pebbled Path. And I'm also going to add some color with Petunia Pop using a blender in this big white space. Just because I wanted to add a little bit more color right there. And with these, I tried to keep them pretty simple just to show you how the pattern works, but you can really go crazy with these if you want to. So here's a little bit more of the glitter paper. I'm just going to add that. And wishing you the brightest birthday. And adding that. And then we have our little branch, I guess. so cute. You can do it green for Christmas. All kinds of fun things. You could even, I did it, oh goodness. I want to say this cardstock color was the Pebbled Path. I had it left over from another project, so I just used what I had. Okay. And then we can add our little flowers with a dimensional. And last, our little leaf, just add a little bit green in there. And then a little more bling doesn't ever hurt. So let's grab the rhinestones. These are the basic jewel rhinestones. And I'm going to grab a couple and add them to the flowers. So you can really have so much fun with accessorizing these, adding more layers. Again, these are just this pattern's a great starting point for creating, especially if you're in a little bit of a creative slump. You can use these as your base and then go from there. Okay, so that is card number 3. Okay, so let's bring those all in. Actually, let me do these. There we go. All right, so again, this is a free PDF file that I have created for you. There is a link in the description of the video that will take you to my website where you can download the PDF for free. And if you create your own set of cards, I would love to see them. So make sure you either like message me a picture or post it right on our Facebook group. It's the Craft with Julie Facebook group, and share your creation with this pattern. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you next time.